What's good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to What If Naruto Was Miles Morales, the finale. Now, I am sorry ahead of time if my voice does sound a bit weird in this video. I have allergies, so my bad on that. But I also quickly want to say that if you guys have enjoyed this series thus far, it would mean the absolute world if you guys could leave a like on this part, the second and the first, seeing as it's going to help the series perform so much better in the YouTube algorithm, and it just helps your boy out so much considering YouTube has not been so nice to me lately. But with that said though, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys love the what if.
Hey Ross, sauce it up.
Whatever, your move, Shark Man. Kisame looks to Naruto with a smile on his face and a big ol' smirk as he then rushes in at Naruto's direction and would say, "I'm gonna show you why they call me the tailless tailed beast," rushing in at Naruto, to which he would activate his Sharingan and barely dodge the blow from Kisame by the hair on his chinny chin. Naruto from here goes on to activate his invisibility mode, and so he jumps up into the air before then shooting two webs at Kisame, one at his arm and the other at his sword, before he then rips the both apart, and Naruto says, "What you gonna do without your sword now, huh?" As Kisame smirks and says, "Kid, you know, it would have been a lot faster if I got to cut you down, but now you're gonna die an even slower death." And Naruto would say, "I'm all for it. I love to dance with death itself," blitzing at the direction of Kisame, as Kisame would smirk, rushing in, and suddenly a gigantic barrier of Amaterasu flames would appear in between the both of them, making them both stop, with Itachi saying, "Kisame, we have to retreat now. This is becoming too big of a thing," with Kisame saying, "Come on, Itachi, you know we could handle them," and Itachi would say that Jiraiya is a lot stronger than he could ever imagine. And Kisame, looking at Jiraiya, would then grit his teeth before blitzing at his sword and saying, "We'll meet again someday, kid, and when we do, I'll cut you down," before Naruto says, "Sure thing, Shark Man," and so they would disappear, going off to flee from the incident, with Jiraiya then looking at the direction of Naruto and telling him that that was something, saying that not a lot of people would have been willing to fight against an Akatsuki member just like the way he just did, saying he's not sure if Naruto would have won that one, considering that Kisame is not at all something to be laughed at. If anything, he's probably one of the strongest members in the entirety of the Akatsuki. And Naruto says, "You know, that might be true, but ain't nothing gonna happen if I'm not scared of him, right?" And you know, Jiraiya is just like, "I guess, kid." Going on from this, he goes on to pay for what happened, and he would tell them to pretty much bill Konoha for the damages, before then going on to a different bar where it has been rumored that Tsunade has been going from time to time. And so Jiraiya and Naruto find themselves inside of this bar, only to then see a woman with blonde hair sitting towards the back, drunk out of her mind. Jiraiya then going over towards her and telling her to become the new Hokage. Just like in the original, she starts just instantly bad-mouthing all of the Hokage before her, and she would be like, "They're all losers," you know what I mean? Naruto gritting his teeth in just complete anger, seeing as, you know, Hiruzen was his pretty much father figure, and he was the guy who trained him for all those years, and now he's dead. And her speaking bad about the Hokages is in essence her speaking bad about Hiruzen Sarutobi. And Naruto's not gonna let that slide. Naruto looks at her and says, "Take that back now. Old man Hiruzen was a better person than you'll ever be. He stayed by his village and didn't flee. He's not a coward like you, somebody who experienced war once and there it was never the same. I guess that's why they call you the legendary loser. Not only is your luck bad at life, but even in the way you speak." And Tsunade looks at Naruto, grits her teeth, smashes the table, and says, "Outside, kid. I got a bone to settle with you." And Naruto says, "Sure, anytime, any place." Making his way outside, Jiraiya pretty much just putting his hand over his face, being like, "Kid, you're always trying to fight people so much stronger than you. What is it with this kid?" And Naruto, you know, he does not care. And so what would pretty much end up happening is Tsunade would tell him that since she knows he's gonna win and she's gonna win anyways, if he can just hit her once, then she'll admit that she was wrong and she'll go back and become Kage. But if he loses, then he has to pay off all of her debts. Naruto eagerly accepts this, saying that he's gonna win easily, and so he would immediately start the battle off by turning invisible, jumping up into the air, and shooting webs at the direction of Tsunade, which would completely throw her off guard. She's wondering where these webs came from. So suddenly, Naruto, in an Attack on Titan-like fashion, would shoot webs before thrusting himself forward at Tsunade and landing a powerful kick on the side of her head, sending her crashing down onto the ground. Tsunade getting up angrily, looking back at Naruto and saying, "Why you?" before rushing back in and trying to punch him with a full force blow that would almost connect had it not been for Naruto's spidey senses. Naruto dodges, weaves, and evades, going on to parry the attack and counterattack Tsunade in such a smooth way that Tsunade would wonder if Naruto's truly a genin at all. Suddenly, Naruto would say, "Wood style, wooden dragon," weaving hand signs so fast and shocking Tsunade, who would completely stand still at the mention of her grandfather's jutsu. She would let the jutsu hit her before getting sent flying back, and she would get completely knocked out from the shock and, just the stunning thing that just happened. Before, she looks at the direction of Naruto the next day when, they end up going over to see if she's okay, and she would say, "Did I imagine things, or did you just use my grandfather's jutsu?" And Naruto would say that she's not blind, that she saw everything correctly. Naruto is a wielder of the Senju, of Senju DNA, and also this, activating his Sharingan in front of Tsunade, as she would ask him how in the world he has those abilities. Naruto saying that he just got a bit lucky. And so Tsunade, looking at Naruto, would say, "Well, I guess you did, kid," before then going on to tell them about the plan to eliminate Orochimaru and how she was contemplating healing his arms in order for her loved one to be brought back, as well as her younger brother. And so she would tell Naruto that she believes in him and would tell him that tomorrow they're going to ambush Orochimaru together. Naruto, hearing the name of Orochimaru, would be like just angry and gritting his teeth, knowing that that's the man who killed the sensei. Naruto has something to settle with Orochimaru, and Naruto's not going to be letting Orochimaru ruin the legacy of old man Hiruzen. He's not going to be letting somebody walk all over what Hiruzen stood for, what Hiruzen did as a person. Hiruzen was an honorable man, and even though he wasn't the best to him when he was growing up, that doesn't mean that Naruto doesn't respect and love him like a father. Naruto's gonna avenge Hiruzen here and now. And so we have a time skip to the next day when they're all getting ready to ambush Orochimaru. It starts, and Tsunade would try to use a jutsu to actually damage Orochimaru, but Kabuto gets in the way and would stop her from doing so instantly. Naruto, seeing this, blitzes in immediately using his invisibility and would land a full one-hit KO hit to Kabuto, slamming a very, very powerful ability into him, which is obviously going to be the Rasengan. And Naruto then says that Orochimaru's his, before then rushing at him, and Orochimaru would lick his lips, saying, "Perfect. I didn't expect to have my arms healed and have my new vessel in the same day. Perfect." Blitzing at Naruto, his tongue out as he swings it at him, and Naruto dodges before then going towards his kunai pouch and slicing off Orochimaru's tongue. Then looking at the direction of Jiraiya, who would tell him to stop, but Naruto was just completely bloodlusted. Turning invisible, activating his Sharingan before Naruto reads Orochimaru like a book and goes back in, trying to attack him with an electricity attack, which would completely miss considering Orochimaru is a lot faster than him, and Naruto, using his spider senses, would dodge a kick from Orochimaru, which would actually get caught by Jiraiya, who would tell him to back off, that his fight is with them now. And so Orochimaru would be backed up against the wall, having to face off against Jiraiya, Tsunade, and Naruto, who would be on top of Gamabunta's head alongside Jiraiya, and Naruto would say that he's not going to let him get away. But Orochimaru would say that this battle is for another time, before then trying to get away instantly, but Naruto was not having any of it. Naruto shooting a web at the direction of Orochimaru and holding onto it as he would go into the reverse summoned world of the Snake Sage Cave, seeing as Orochimaru would have reverse summoned himself to escape. And so Naruto, appearing there, would see Orochimaru and a bunch of snakes, and Orochimaru would say, "You made it too easy for me, kid. Now they're gonna eat you." But don't worry, because I'll be there to stop them. Because I need your body for my future conquests. And Naruto says that he's not going to be taking nobody's body, and those snakes are not going to get in the way, because this fight is between he and him, and he's going to die today, or he's going to die trying to kill him. And so Orochimaru would smile before taking out the Kusanagi blade, and with his mouth, he would hold it before blitzing it at Naruto without his arms, mind you, and then rushing in, trying to pretty much try to defeat Naruto using that in his mouth, and creating jutsus that are very, very easy to create, right? Not only that, but he would have a bunch of the snakes rushing at Naruto, but Naruto doesn't care. Naruto puts them behind webs and would shoot more and more and more webs at Orochimaru, catching him off guard, blinding him slightly for a moment before Naruto comes in with a punch so hard that Orochimaru would feel as though almost his head would have almost been sent off his body from the strength. Orochimaru wondering how in the world this kid is so strong. It's almost as if he's channeling his chakra just like Tsunade, but he's not. It doesn't seem like the kid's doing that. Naruto from here weaves hand signs for a gigantic wood golem jutsu, and using a bunch of chakra, a gigantic golem would appear and begin to just absolutely demolish Orochimaru. Orochimaru, getting pummeled into the ground, would then have Naruto land on top of him, as he would ask, "Any last words?" And Orochimaru would say, "No, I don't. You are my greatest experiment, and I hope that you continue to live on, because I didn't get the chance to." Before Orochimaru tries to bite at Naruto to at least give him the curse mark so we can come back through that, but Naruto dodges it and proceeds to use a lightning jutsu at the head of Naruto, poking his hands in his eyes and making his eyes explode as Orochimaru's head completely blows up, and the snakes would look at Naruto as Manda slithers over and would tell Naruto that what he did was very much appreciated. He was one of the worst summoning contracts that they've ever gotten, and because he was willing to do that, they would offer him their own summoning contract. Naruto would say that he already has the toads, but they would say that they can offer him more power than those weak toads can ever muster. And Naruto, hearing that, would think to himself, "More power, eh? Looks like I did need more power when it came to that fish guy, and not to mention I probably would have lost to this guy if he had his full arms back. So, sure, how long is this power gonna take?" But what would pretty much be told to him is that it's probably going to take a year or two, considering they're going to be trying to teach him Snake Sage Mode. Naruto would be completely down for this, and so for the next year entirely, Naruto would spend his time at Ryuchi Cave, where he would end up learning Snake Sage Mode and completely abandoning the contract that he would have made with the toads. Naruto, using Snake Sage Mode, would end up beginning to get a lot more powerful, and he would begin getting way higher up in the ranks, to the point where Naruto would be just on a completely different level. By the time that Naruto returns to Konoha after that 1 year would pass, Naruto then goes on another separate training journey with Jiraiya, in which Naruto would spend that time learning how to wield the Rasen Shuriken. Considering that Naruto already knowing Sage Mode and being very proficient with his taijutsu, considering Hiruzen would have trained him for all those years, would be more than ahead of the one that we would have seen in Shippuden at the beginning, and so would be more than on the level of somebody like Pain. So this Naruto was already so busted. And so when the first mission that he would get when he officially returns to Konoha, to actually start doing missions, happens, and he's told that he needs to go and save Gaara and all that, he goes, and Naruto was not playing no games. Naruto wants to save Gaara, and not to mention, he would have also, kind of wanted to see that one girl again. What was her name again, he would think? Right, Temari. She was kind of cute, he would think. And so, making his way towards the village hidden in the sand, he would end up making it there, seeing Kankuro, and noticing that he was hit with poison. Naruto would be like, damn, how do I help this guy? Not knowing how, but ultimately Sakura would end up arriving minutes later, creating an antidote with the help of Lady Chiho, and then they would end up making their way towards the direction of where Sasori and Data are located. Immediately after this, they end up arriving, and Sakura, using her immense strength, would punch a hole in the cave, leading them to enter, and Naruto blocking off the entrance one more, using a thick layer of webs. which would stop Deidara from flying out using his clay. He would try to explode it, but Naruto just puts up more and more webs as the explosion would happen, and Deidara's bird would get caught in the clay before then exploding, and Naruto, before Deidara could register what happened, would have blitzed behind him, as Naruto would have smacked the back of Deidara's neck, completely knocking him out, using his abilities of like his reflexes, his chakra, his spider-like abilities and speed, easily getting behind him and activating Sage Mode for a brief second, as he would have chopped him in the neck, knocked Deidara out, and then all of their attention would have solely been focused on Sasori, who Naruto, not paying attention to Lady Chiho or anything, would blitz in using a shadow clone, mind you, and hit him with a Rasen Shuriken, which would completely eviscerate any chance or hope that the other team had for them having a potential chance to make it out of their situation. There was absolutely no hope for them, and Naruto wanted to make it known that they were not going to be getting out of here alive whatsoever. It was not gonna happen. Naruto, smiling after having all of this go down, would end up then looking at the direction of Kakashi, who would nod at Naruto and tell him that he's more than surpassed him by now. And Naruto would say, "Come on, Kakashi, you just noticed?" Before Kakashi would laugh, and from here they make their way back towards the village. You know, obviously Lady Chiho would sacrifice herself for Gaara, and once they return, Naruto would have a nice little talk with Temari, asking her out on a date, with Temari being like, "Oh, so you want to go out on a date with me? Ain't that something?" With Naruto saying, I feel like it's only right. I like you. I'm pretty sure you like me. I've seen you staring." Temari blushes a bit before Naruto tells her that, what does she say? And Temari would say she says yes, before then going on to look at Naruto, smiling, and they would then go out on a date. It would be a really nice one, and it would be on this time that Naruto ends up getting to 4th base. Naruto clears the inning, and Naruto ends up succeeding in the mission that many can all just dream of. Naruto succeeded in getting thine cheeks. But basically what ends up happening after this is that Naruto would end up going back to Konoha, where eventually the attack between the attack between Asuma and all of that would end up happening, and they call for reinforcement. Now, reinforcements do end up arriving this time before Asuma dies, in the form of Naruto Uzumaki, who, using his immense speed, not wanting any of his classmates to die, ends up arriving on the battlefield at the very last second and smashing an absolute insanely powerful Rasen Shuriken into the body of Kakazu, using Snake Sage Mode, as his aura of Sage Mode would go around him just like Mitsuki's, except his would be red. And so, blitzing in, he would go on and absolutely foderize Kakazu, before then looking at Hidan and telling him that he needs to release that jutsu now, or else he's not going to give him all of this money. And Hidan, looking at it, would say, "What does he care about money?" Naruto then, looking at Hidan, being completely angered, blitzing in, he would land a blow on Hidan that would completely knock him out. Now, everybody knows that Hidan is immortal, right? I'm pretty sure we all know that. But being immortal doesn't mean you can't get knocked out. So the second that he knocked Hidan out and he got him out of that circle, Hidan was completely incapable of making Asuma take all of the damage that he ended up taking himself, right? And so the connection between them both would be lost, and Asuma would never have to die this time around. Shikamaru, Choji, and Ino would all be extremely happy with Naruto, and Ino would be especially happy, going on to really thank Naruto. And like the next time that they would be in the village, Ino walks over to him and offers him a free meal, right? You know, they go out, you know, they have a nice little friendly meal, you know, just as friends, you know, they're talking, they're asking each other questions, and Ino was saying that she's sorry for how things were in the academy back in the day. Naruto says that it's all good, that, you know, back then he was kind of an annoying brat. And Ino giggles, saying, "Yeah, but now he's just changed, and Naruto's just," she would be like, "kind of hot." Naruto laughs at this and would be like, "Yeah, I guess." And keep in mind, Naruto and Temari are dating. But, you know, one thing would lead to another between him and Ino, and they would find themselves playing Super Smash Bros. At Naruto's house. It's so random, but, you know, I guess Ino just really likes Super Smash Bros. And, you know, she was getting the work. But Naruto, after he does that, would end up telling Ino that, you know, that can only be kind of like a one-time thing, which would be a lie considering that she would be a sneaky lick from now on. And now Naruto would be going out with Temari and Ino would be a thing in the background. Naruto, deciding that he doesn't want to keep hiding this for any much longer, would end up going into the Konoha Clan Restoration Act, where he's allowed to have multiple wives. And so he would be allowed to be with Temari and Ino because of that. And then later on in the series, somebody else is finally going to confess their love to him, which is going to be giving Naruto a grand total of at minimum 3 wives. Yes, sir. This is going to be one of those, what's the word for people when they have a bunch of wives? I forgot the name. Like they call it something, but I forgot what it was. But regardless, Naruto's gonna be harem. Naruto's gonna be having like a small harem, right? But basically, continuing forward with the story, eventually the pain attack would happen, and Naruto having access to Sage Mode and actually training as of this moment by a waterfall, Naruto senses a disturbance of chakra in the air, and so, using his abilities of the Sharingan, Naruto looks up to the sky to see a massive amount of chakra being gathered up into someone's eyes, and he would blitz over towards the direction of the Diva Path of Pain, before then saying, "You're not gonna do a thing to this village!" Blitzing at him before shooting a bunch of webs, and Pain would then be like, "Shinro tense," before Naruto punches him in the face and he would send him flying back. Pain then landing meters away and Naruto jumping on top of him, before then completely shocking Pain, the Diva Path of Pain, who would have his clothes like charred off and burnt, and then tell Naruto that what he's here to do is inevitable. But Naruto would say that with him there, nothing is inevitable. And so, suddenly out of nowhere, another character would appear right next to Naruto. This being Sasuke Uchiha, who would have never left the village and would look at Naruto and say, "Naruto, set me up." Naruto then looking at Sasuke, smirking and saying, "Sure thing, Sasuke," using the substitution jutsu to substitute with a clone and facing off against the Diva Path of Pain, Sage Mode activated and all, and he and Sasuke would both tag team all the Paths of Pain, which would end up arriving, and they make easy work of them, before suddenly the final Path of Pain would be there, and having a full 5-second countdown, Sasuke would say, "Kirin," before a gigantic lightning dragon would fall down onto Pain, and Obito, who would be watching, would come out of the shadows clapping, just being like, "Interesting, looks like you guys were able to defeat him, but I don't think you will be able to defeat Madara Uchiha." Then looking unto them and casting a Sharingan Genjutsu so powerful that Sasuke would be trapped inside of a world, breaking out instantly basically, but he would have been trapped. It would have been on some Itachi level stuff. Itachi would be right next to Obito, and it would be at this moment that Obito would tell Itachi to finally kill his brother. But Itachi's not having any of it, and Itachi finally would reveal to Sasuke that he's not actually evil, going into a Susanoo and trying to stab Obito with the Totsuka blade. Obito using his Kamui abilities and saying, "So it looks like you finally showed your true colors, Itachi of Konoha," and Itachi would say that it was about time after all, before then in starting a massive gigantic battle, which would take place like kind of far from Konoha, but not far enough to the point where damage won't be done. And so the battle would start. Sasuke using all of the basic abilities that he has, basically being on the level of the Sasuke who fought off against Deidara, so not that strong to keep up with Obito, but definitely able to provide support. Naruto, who would just be chilling in the background, right? Trying to mainly kind of assist Itachi, who would be guiding him through how to defeat the Kamui move. Naruto using all of this would end up then finally having a key player arrive, obviously being Kakashi, who using his Kamui ability, they would find out that it's linked. And because they find out it's linked, they would be able to start tagging Obito like crazy. Attacks would start actually landing, and Obito would be facing off against Kakashi in his Kamui dimension, while also having to fight off against Naruto, Sasuke, and Itachi on the outside. And I'm sorry to say it, but that combo of 4 people absolutely and utterly destroys Obito. Meaning that there is no need for the Sage of the 6 Paths to get involved, and that is instead going to be saved for a lot later down in the road, right? When Naruto finally ends up encountering Toneri. Hagoromo obviously intervening, giving Naruto the abilities of both the path, the good path, and the bad path of the chakra, and so Naruto would become the strongest in the series, ultimately being able to protect his village and being able to restore both the Uzumaki and the Namikaze clan. it would be a huge thing. And there would be Uzumaki, Namikaze, Hyuga babies, and like even whatever clan it is that Tamari belongs to, as well as Ino, I forgot her last name, but I know she belongs to a kind of important clan. So Naruto, not only does he start a new era of that, but Naruto gets down and crazy, and he becomes the Hokage later on, going on to use shadow clones instead of what he used to use. And finally, this would be the conclusion to What If Naruto was Miles Morales. If you guys enjoyed this part and you guys want to see more Naruto What Ifs, make sure to check out my upcoming What If Naruto was the lightning god, aka What If Naruto ate the Goro Goro no Mi, which is the fruit that Eneru eats in One Piece. And also make sure you guys check out the video titled What If Deku Was Levi, seeing as it ended up getting a poor amount of views. And so if you guys wanted to continue, go check it out again, maybe leave a like or something, and go check it out. It's actually a really good video, so I'd mean a lot if you guys were to go check it out. That said though, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you guys making it to the end of this What If. Nothing but love from me, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.